Welcome to what I'm happy to say is the second episode of the computer analysis. I got a pretty good response from the first one and decided to see where this all goes by making a second episode. Since no one had a question for this episode, I'm going to show you what I've been messing around with lately, and that's programming a simple keylogger. I've chosen to demonstrate it in C# since the code's easier to read, and mostly because I just like C#. Since I have a 10-minute time constraint on YouTube, I'm going to have to copy and paste a lot of the code so I can get this over quickly. Okay, so open up C# and begin a console application. And the first thing you're going to want to do is import these three namespaces. System.io is going to help us read and write to files. System.runtime.interrupt services is going to help us import API functions. And system.net.mail is going to help us mail out our log file. First thing you're going to want to do is include these three API functions. Now you do have to include DLL import user.32.dll in front of before each API function, or else you won't import the function properly. We're going to use getAsync keystate, find window, and show window. GetAsync keystate is going to tell us whether a key is being pressed, and find window and show window are going to help us hide the window, the console application. In order to hide the console, we're going to use this code right here. This is going to give us a pointer, an in pointer, and it's going to tell us that the window exists. And we're going to have to first argument is going to be null, and the second is going to be console.title, because that's the name of the window we're trying to hide. And then if the in pointer does not equal in pointer.0, meaning that the window does exist, we're going to do show window, the in pointer, and 0, and that's going to hide the window. Next thing you want to do is going to create a string to store our log. It's going to be an empty string. And here is the main while loop. So let me erase some of this unnecessary code. Now, the length of the log, we're going to keep adding characters until the length of the log reaches a certain height. The average person types maybe 10,000 characters a day, so 2,500 is good for practical purposes, maybe 5,000 at the most. Don't go any further than that, or else you might run into complications when logging files. Now, the for loop is going to go from 1 to 255, because that's every type of ASCII character, and you're going to do getAsync keystate for each one, and it's going to tell you if the key corresponding to that number is being pressed. For example, left click is 1, right click is 2, and if the result does not equal 0, that means that the key is being pressed. And we're going to do log equals log plus check exceptions, which is a method I'll show you later. And then we're going to let the computer sleep for 115 milliseconds. System.threading.thread.sleep. This is important because the computer can check the same key faster than you can click it. So we're going to let the computer sleep a little bit so that we don't record the same key twice. Now we're going to get out of the while loop. And we are going to type in all of this code right here. First, we're going to go to the datetime class and create an instance, and it's going to be current called datetime now, which is the exact time we got out of the while loop and the date. And then we're going to turn it into a string. And then we're going to take date, and we're going to replace it. We're going to replace the colon and the / with underscores, because we're going to use this in the name of our file, and in Windows these are illegal characters for files. Now we're going to create a string path. This is a string literal, so I don't need to use escape sequences. Now I chose this file path because it exists both in Windows and in both in Windows XP and in Vista. So in either one it'll work. And we're going to do date.text. This way you can tell just by looking at the file name when the file was created. Now in the system.io namespace, we're going to create a file stream called mylog, new file stream, and the file path, the file mode is going to be create new, so it's going to create a new file, and then file access is going to write to that file. and then we're going to create a stream writer that uses the the stream we just made. Now we're going to do sw.write log, so it's going to write the log string to the file, and we're going to close it in this particular order. You have to close the stream writer first before the file stream, because the stream writer uses the file stream. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the send mail function. And we're going to use, for the hosts, I know for a fact that it works with Gmail. So you're going to type in smtp@gmail.com, which is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol for gmail.com. It's not going to work with Hotmail because Hotmail doesn't use Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. You're going to type in the port number for Gmail, that's 587. Your username. Your password. The from address, which is just username@gmail.com. The to address, which I'm also going to have the same thing so I get the file back. Next is the body. I can make this interesting because I can do keylog from plus date time .now .toString. This way I can get some information just by looking at the body of the email. And then here I could do new log from as a subject. Plus the string system dot environment dot machine name. So if I have it installed on multiple machines, I'll know where it's coming from. And then true, and then the file path because that's the attachment. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to clear the log. The log is going to equal a new empty string, and then we're going to do a goto statement. Yes, I know it's bad practice, but it's very useful in this case. And then we're going to go back. We're going to place the label next to log above the while loop, so I'll go back and create a new log. Now the check exceptions method, since certain keys on your keyboard are going to come back as weird Unicode characters, this clears up your log. This code will be available on my website, which will be in a link provided next to the video. So I just went through all the trouble of finding all these keys out for you. And the send mail method, which will also be available in the code. This will all be available at the computer www.freewebs.com/thecomputeranalysis under the code section. Also, while you're there, if you don't mind leaving a comment under the forums for possible new videos, and all our videos are right there and a little explanation of me. So I'm going to go to a working version, and I'm going to go to debug, start without debugging, and there goes the window. Notice I only have 7 currently open, 7 emails, and then I'm going to go to Notepad, type in and you can see there's my log. In this case, all I got was alt and clicks. So here's another one. Oh, I opened up the wrong file. And there's all my text. I hope this helped. Leave a comment, and thanks.